WWETB staff will be meeting all our learners individually to request some personal information that we haven't asked you for before. It's very important that you know why this is needed and what we are going to do with this information and how it's going to be stored. All of this will be explained to you in this video. Why do we need your details? You may be aware that SOLAS is the Further Education and Training Authority that gives out the money to education and training boards to run courses. SOLAS uses a computer system called PLSS, Programme and Learner Support System, for education and training boards to gather and manage information about learners and the courses we run. FET stands for Further Education and Training. PLSS is a secure online database that manages the information that education and training boards collect about learners on FET courses. PLSS collects information on what happens to you at the end of your further education and training course. It could be, for example, getting a certificate for your learning, moving on to another course, or it could be getting a job. The information you provide us with may be used to contact you for your feedback on the course you did. The information will be used by SOLAS for research on the outcomes of courses. The information is used to ensure FET courses meet your needs as a learner. The information you give us also allows us to access funding to run our courses. First, we will take you through all the sections you need to fill in on the learner detail form. Then we would like to go through some data protection information with you. Fill in sections 1 to 5 of the learner detail form. Section 5 is optional, but you must tick if you do not want to answer the questions. Ask your course provider if you have any questions or if you need help filling in the form. If you do not complete sections 1, 2, 3 and 4, we cannot register you for a course. Sign the data protection statement on page 10. We need your signature to confirm that you have read and understood how we will use and share the personal information you provide in this form. Return your completed and signed form to your course provider. Section 1 of the Learner Detail form asks for information about your personal details, including your name, PPS number, address, air code, phone number, your email address, your gender, date of birth, your nationality, the country you were born in, an emergency contact number, for example, someone from your family or a good friend. If you are 18 years of age, you need a signature from a parent or guardian in the next box. And a parental consent form must be completed before you are registered for the course. In Section 2 and 2.1 of the Learner Detail form, we are asking for information about social welfare payment before starting the course. This is required to ensure funding for your course. Do you have a medical card? If you do, please enter the medical card number and the expiry date. Before starting the course, were you in receipt of welfare payment, signing for credit, dependent of a social welfare or training payment recipient or medical card holder, or none of the above? Tick the box which applies to you. How long were you receiving payment or signing for credits? If you tick dependent of a social welfare or training payment recipient or medical card holder, please state what your relationship is to the recipient, partner or spouse or other. What payment or payments do you receive? Please tick the box which applies to you. Please state if you receive any other welfare payment underneath. Section 2.2 looks for additional information which is required to be filled in by learners who are from outside the EEA, Garda National Immigration Bureau, GNIB card. In Section 3, the form is asking you about your highest level of education and training you achieved before starting this course. Have you gained qualifications or credits through the formal recognition of prior learning or PL process? Tick yes or no. Have you taken part in non-formal learning in the last 4 weeks? Tick yes or no. If you need any supports when attending a course, for example English language, computer skills, please list them or talk to an ETB staff member. In section 4 of the form, we ask about your economic status before starting this course. If less than a year, please give the date this economic status began. If a year or more, please give the number of years for this economic status. Section 4.1. Your last or current employment. Please enter the details of the last or current job you were employed in. Please list what type of contract did you have or have you got. If not applicable, please skip to Section 5. Section 5 of the form is optional. It is used for statistical purposes only and to access future funding. Please note, once on PLSS, this data is no longer held against a learner's name. It is used only as an aggregate of other data. You must tick each section if you prefer not to answer. Ethnic and cultural background. Please tick the correct box or enter in Other. Which household category do you belong in? The third question in Section 5 is also optional. Please tick yes or no if any of these apply to you. Section 5.1. Long-lasting conditions or difficulties. Please tick which applies to you. Section 5.2. Residency status for those outside the EEA. Please tick the appropriate box which applies to you, along with checking the box which indicates if you are less than a year or 1 year or more in the Republic of Ireland. We would like to go through some data protection information with you. What is data protection? When you give your personal details to an organisation such as WWETB and SOLAS, they have a duty to keep that information safe and private. This process is known as data protection. There is a data protection statement on the learner detail form that sets out your rights on how personal data will be used, stored and collected. Personal data is information about you, such as your name, your address, your phone number, your PPS number and your school history. Your information will only be shared with people who need it. You should check that you understand the information in the data protection statement, and if in doubt, ask one of us or ask your tutor to explain it to you. The data protection states your rights. The data protection statement says that you have a right to know what information is being collected and why it's being collected. You have the right to ask for a copy of that information. You have the right to ask questions about how the information is being collected. You have the right to know how long the information will be kept. You have the right to correct information that is wrong. Please read and understand the data protection statement carefully before signing the learner detail form. If you have difficulty understanding it, ask your tutor to explain it to you. Thank you for taking the time to listen about the learner detail form and data protection. WWETB welcomes you to your programme of learning. We hope it is a positive experience and we look forward to working together with you.